Okay, everyone, places. This is the final scene, so let's make this one count. And action.
Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today's video is in this box. This box, as you can see, has been in the garage for a while because it's dusty, and it's also been in the office waiting to do this review. So this machine is one that I never had as a child, but I know that I used one at school because that's what they did at school in the UK in the 1980s, in the early 80s. And in here we have a BBC Micro. So this is a BBC Micro that I've had for, I would say, probably 4 years, 5 years maybe. And I got this in a massive haul of computers that I unfortunately never videoed because I wasn't doing YouTube at the time for technology videos. There's some pictures on my website which you can find in the link below. All spread out on a bed at the old house when I got everything in the hall, and you'll be able to see everything that I got in that hall, including this BBC Micro, in that picture. But anyway, this is going to be a review of this BBC Micro, specifically this one, because what it came with and how it works and what it works like. So I've got up here, I've got the only TV that I can find at the moment that's available with the SCART socket, because we've got RGB to SCART cable. There's the Computer Battle Games book, which has programs in for the BBC Micro, TRS-80. Those were staple in those days. And also there's something special about this BBC, as it has an MMC card. I don't know if you can see that. It has an MMC card in its little user porty thing. So we'll show you and we'll go through that, and then we'll see what other things it's got, because it's actually got something quite special inside. Anyway, there's that, there's the book, there's the RGB cable, there's a really gnarly copy of cassette 50, and this is, I mean, really gnarly. It's like it's missing a side and it's been bent, and yeah, it's just rubbish, but the cassette works, so you know, it's only the case. And as most people probably throw those away, or threw those away after the event, because they were naff really. I'm not bothered about that. And then in this box, this bag, there are quite a lot of BBC Micro games. Which you can see there. So we have Superior Software's Cribbage. We have O-level revision calculus for the Electron. So I believe that the Electron software works on the BBC Micro. Never tried it. The only Electron I ever had was broken, so I couldn't run anything on it anyway. Then there is Warpack Games, 6 great games on one tape. And what does this have? This has Paras, Battlezone 2000, Johnny Reb, Something Camp, Empire, and Roman Empire by Lothlorien. Oh, Stolen Lamp. There we go. Stolen Lamp, not Something Camp. So Paras, Battlezone 2000, Johnny Reb, Roman Empire, Empire, and Stolen Lamp. So hopefully that still works. I mean, how unusual to get one single cassette in a big case like that. Oh well. Then we have Fruit Machine Simulator. for the BBCB, Master and Electron. We then have World Geography by Program Power. Wow, £6.95 from John Menzies. How long ago has John Menzies been around? It hasn't, has it? And then we also have Overdrive, which I assume is a racing simulator. And then we have another fruit machine simulator. So the person that I got this obviously like his fruit machines. Bit of a gambler probably. And then, oh look at that. Countdown. Wow, that's quite impressive. Oh yes. And it's so old that there's Carol Vorderman. Has she looked when she was on Countdown? And she's not done Countdown for a long time. Oh, that's quite a weird one as well. That's a bright blue cassette. Oh, lovely. Nice. And as far as I'm aware, those work as well. So, yeah, that'll be nice to try that. But unfortunately, I don't have a cassette player available at the moment that will work with it. I have got one available, but it's on another machine that I'm going to do a review of very soon. And you'll see that, and I hope you'll enjoy that, because that is a really, really rare machine in the UK. So anyway, put these back in here and wrap them up nice and safe, because after all they are, you know, fairly old tapes. Go down that way. It's the time when you need 3 hands. Right, so put those on there. They go out the way. And then also in the box is a double joystick. Now let's see if you can see those properly. Oh, you can. There we go. So 2 joysticks, one green, one red. Yeah. With a single BBC Master, BBC Micro joystick connector, which goes on the back. So joysticks to play games, that's quite cool. And then lo and behold, the BBC Master itself. So I'm going to lay that there. And luckily there was a piece of silica gel in the box, so it won't have got damp in the garage, which is quite good. I think it was me that put that on there, which I'm quite impressed about, and it was a good idea that I did, because otherwise it would have gone horribly, horribly nasty. Anyway, let's take this out of the bubble wrap. It's quite a while since I've looked at this actually, to be fair, because I tend to buy things, get given things, put them in storage, don't do much with them at all. And then along comes the lockdown, and we're able to do lots of great content with things that I don't have to buy because I've already got them. So what we'll do is we'll move this, which way around, the best way, that way, so I can get my feet under it. Move this little table around that way, like so. And then move that on there like so. So there we go. There is the BBC Micro. It's very yellow. It's very yellow indeed. And the power cable has all sorts of grottiness on it, and the rubber band has actually perished that's holding the cable together. So we'll take that off there. And as you can see, it was quite a long cable, which was good. The fuse looks alright. So I'm not going to plug that in just yet. I want to show you what's inside this machine. Okay, machine's out. I'm going to plug it in, take the top off, show you what's inside it, and then we can test it on the TV.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I'll move the camera a bit closer. So as you can see, It has actually, yeah. I didn't realise it had got that. There's a black mark on the top of it. So I need to get rid of that before I sell this, because I'm going to sell it because we are in the throes of moving house, even though we're in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak and we're in a lockdown, but things are still progressing, so we are still moving along with the sale and the purchase of houses. I don't see why we shan't. You know, we shouldn't do. It's nothing's happening as yet, and hopefully by the time we come out at the end of this lockdown, we'll be able to complete and exchange on the sale and the purchase of the new house. So where we're going doesn't have any storage in the garage, so all my equipment will either have to go into storage externally to the house, or I might have to build a better storage shed than the one that we're getting on site. But for the moment, these machines that I'm not concentrating on are the ones that will have to be sold to give me room for other storage, but also it gives me room to buy new stuff and do more reviews and more fixes and the like. I wish I was like the other YouTubers who have loads of storage and offices everywhere. Unfortunately not. I do this from my home office, which is a tiny little room off the bedroom, and the storage at the moment is in the garage, and even that isn't as much as it used to be when we first moved in. Anyway, enough of the waffle. The BBC Micro. Yeah, they were probably this yellow. Certainly not as yellow as the front of it here, because it's quite yellow, but I think they were this sort of creamy colour, very much like the Tatung Einstein in colour. And this machine is I think it's a B, but I'll check that and we'll make sure and we'll go through it and check. So there's the front keyboard with the iconic red function keys. Round the back. Now, well, you see, I wonder if this it actually had something else sticking in there. I don't know what's in that, to be fair. But 2 screw holes, so this machine doesn't have any screws. As you'll see, it never had screws when I received it. UHF out for your telly, video out, RGB, RS423. What does that one say? Cassette, joystick, reset hole, and then the network, which was the EcoNet. Now there's nothing in there, so this doesn't have an EcoNet card in it, which is a shame because that makes them worth more, but it does actually have something special inside. And then underneath, so there, as you can see, this has moved down. There we go. That should be like so. So we have, don't know whose that postcode is, E174NS. I'm assuming it's the school where it came from, in E17 in London. More than likely, it could well have been a famous school, or not, I have no idea. Anyway, underneath are all the expansion ports, the tube port, the 1 MHz bus, the user port, the printer port, and the disk drive port. Same disk drive mechanism that goes in the external port on the Tatung Einstein, which you will have seen me do in a recent video, the internal cable replacement. So I'm hoping to get a disk drive for the BBC Micro that works on the Tatung Einstein as well. So maybe I'll try some discs if I get it, I don't know. And then here there's a 5-volt output, which if you look on eBay for specifically BBC Micro floppy drives, they have the 34-pin floppy drive connector and a really strange plastic connector, which is for the power, which goes there. So non-specific BBC Micro drives have a 3-pin plug that you can plug into the wall with a power switch. So this is a way of the BBC passing power to its external devices. And then, as you saw before, in the user port, we have this cable here, which has this device on it. And this device is an SD card reader with a funky little 1 GB SD card. Well, it's an MMC card actually, but you know, it's like an SD card. So I know that you can get many of these, and they're very cheap, you know, £20 on eBay really, so they're not expensive. And whoever had this was kind enough to put cable suppressors down. And then underneath also for the case you've got 2 fixing screw holes there. So there's no screws in this at all. So to accommodate this, the BBC Micro, oh, I've just noticed there's dirty mark under there, so this case does need a good clean. So to accommodate the MMC card inside, when you take the box off, there was a circuit board here that had the additional DFS ROMs on, which was a disk filing system. In there, which you'll see it has, but it also has something else quite special. So when you take the keyboard off the case, nothing comes off apart from the top case. So, right, and as you can see, somebody's modified this, so there's very, what looks like poor quality for the fan housing. This is like some sort of mesh for like air filtering possibly, and then underneath there where the cartridge expansion slot is, as you can see there, somebody's actually stuck it down with a piece of paper underneath it. So I think this has been, it's been well looked after, and everything appears to be intact, but that to there, I think there was something in this back bit there, only because, what is that? Oh, actually, I wonder. Oh, yeah, okay. So those there. I would say match those 4 holes in there. So it looks like they had an afterthought and had this coming through the front of the machine maybe in here. So they wouldn't have screwed it down and this cable would have come out of the user port through the front of the machine, all underneath and through the back of the machine, through that hole, and then stuck inside the top of the case. But I much prefer it here. It's much cleaner, much tidier, and seems to work quite well. Okay, so that was the micro memory card, the MMC. And then in here we have this beauty. This is a Watford Electronics 12 ROM expansion board. As it says there, 12 ROM board. Okay, and this has on it, this has view, this has view sheet, this has Killer Gorilla, this has ISO Pascal, it has Pascal compiler, Basic 2, the controller BIOS for the MMC card, plus the disk filing system in here, View Store, XMA EXMUS, XMUS. Don't know what that one is. Don't know what that is at all, but it's obviously, it's got a UV light screen on it, so that really needs to be covered over. And then ADE. Don't know what that is. Don't know what those two are. ROM M1, ROM H1, ROM 1, 14L, 14H, so high and low ROMs. Now that's interesting. It used to have a battery, and it looks like the battery had started to corrode, so somebody very kindly, before leaving it in storage, had taken the battery off. That's good, because that could have really killed the machine. It's very dusty, it does need a good brush. Anyway, that, I believe, the keyboard connector matches the Tatung Einstein, and the Tatung Einstein keyboard can work on it. But but I wouldn't trust that. I've read that on the internet, so I honestly don't know. Right, got a brush. Do it very gently, because a lot of these are very old components and it could just come off there soldering. Oh, see, that's much better. You can actually see the writing now on the board. So, wow, that was, oh, pardon me, quite dusty. Yeah. Okay, anyway, that's done now. Anyway, that's done now, so let's plug him in. Let's plug him into the TV. Let's get the keyboard plugged back in again, and then let's see whether this guy actually works. Right, it might be a bit wobbly. The TV, as you can see, is on, and I've got this other, I've got my phone on the actual BBC itself. So as you can see, TV there plus what's on the other screen. I'm going to turn it on here and let's see what happens. So that's not good, so it shouldn't do that. Ah, there we go. So, on my BBC Basic, 32K. I think I disturbed some of the chips when I was messing in here. So I believe you do star ROMs. Oh, there we go. So you can see exactly what's on there. So we've got ROM 15 Basic, Pascal, RISC CO, no idea what that is, a blank one in ROM 11, ADE, DFS, XMON, oh XMON, not XMAN, and ViewStore and DFS. So can we do star help? We can do. So, well, there's a DFS 2.26 and a DFS 0.A1. So, using the MMC card, let me have a quick look at my instructions I've got here. Apologies for the camera going everywhere, I am actually holding it while I'm doing this. So, it says we need to do, once the system is active, you can run games by entering the menu by doing star dboot 0. So star dboot 0. Wow, look. So there we go. So up and down. And then I believe left and right are the pages. So there are 65 pages of BBC Micro games on this MMC card. So let's try darts, ZX, up and down, Wow. So that's taking its time to draw. That's really quite bad. So obviously keyboard and hands not doing much while this is done. I do believe that these BBC Micros were very slow, at 2 megahertz maybe, or 1 megahertz. But even so, for the time of the machine, for 1983, this is pretty good. Wow, so we need to do Z and X. Okay. Wow. Gosh. That's pretty bad, isn't it? So Z and X and then... Oh, I see. So that you press that and it goes up. You press that and it goes down. Right, let's try this again then. So I reckon we can do that to there. And then we do... Yes, okay, that's right. Blimey. I got 19. That's pathetic. Wow. It was almost a bullseye. Gosh. Wow. 79. Gosh. I do believe, do you do shift and brake? Yes. There we go. So shift and brake takes you back to... So shift and brake takes you back to the menu, to the basic, and then you do start. I'm sure star menu works as well. Oh, maybe not. Oh, looks like my keyboard's gone a bit faulty. Oh, wow, okay. That's not good. Right, let's try turning it off again. And then back on and seeing whether or not it's fixed the keyboard. Probably not. No, so my keyboard has now gone faulty and it was working. Wow, right, that's something I need to look at then. Okay, so it looks like it needs a damn good clean. There are bits of old flux everywhere, and that actually looks quite disgusting. So, do I have my IPA? Looks like I do, and there isn't much left of it. So I'll try that. Yeah, looks like it's gone now, that. Right. So, is this now going to be better? See, it could be that me moving this has caused it to go a bit screwy. I should know better than to try lifting these cables and these sockets. But anyway, I put that back on there like that. And let's see what happens now when I turn on. So it's still back on there. Oh, there you go. How weird. So it's either, I bet it was shorting out down here on one of these cables. So let's try this again. So if we do, let's get you back on the keyboard as well so you can see what's going on. So you can see now, so that works again. Both sides do. So I think that maybe it was shorting out down here. And this is where these screws come in. Put a new one in there, put one in there, and that holds the keyboard in place to keep it from moving, and it's probably that causes the problem. So anyway, that was so star menu brings up the same thing again, and then as we did before, we can go down and have a look at What was a good one? Frack. I remember frack. There, O. I think you press O and it goes down to it, and then you can run the game. So ZX moves Trog left and right, colon and slash moves them up, Q for sound on or off, and escape leaves the game. Not much sound, to be fair, but anyway, left and right. Oh dear, you see, I'm rubbish at this game. Never mind. So he has his yo-yo. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so that works. There we go. Okay. Now, what's left? Oh, as you can see from there, I've cleared the screen and it just goes off slightly. Yeah, you can't even see that there, can you? No? Okay, let's zoom back out. What have we got? There. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, here it's off the screen slightly. But I'm thinking that because of all those star ROMs, oh dear, well that's not good. Okay. Ah, there we go. It's because I quit out of the frack. It must do something strange. So, can we do star basic? That's what's already in there. Can we do star Pascal? No, we can't. So, star ROMs. Yeah. Star Pascal. That doesn't work. And that doesn't work either. So, how do we can do star cat. Oh, there we go. So, that star cat shows what's on the drive. Okay, then do we do star ROM 06? I don't know. I wish I knew how to get these working. Let me try something and see whether I can get back with some more instructions.
A few moments later.
Okay, so very quickly, what I found out is when we do this, these are all the ROMs that are loaded here. Okay. These are actually SL, which means sideways RAM load. Okay. So these will load, it looks like there's some sort of additional sideways RAM, which would have been a module that plugged into the side, presumably, of the BBC. Anyway, all these are available as sideways RAM. So, view here, I believe, is the BBC word processor. So you can't do star view, because that doesn't work. But what you can do star word, and that gives you the BBC Micro word processor. open. Let's try help. No, so I don't have a manual for the View word processor. Now apparently the same thing works with Star Sheet, and that's the View sheet. So this is the what would be the Excel spreadsheet of its time. Help. Oh, so it's everything in a command. Load. So it appears that the spreadsheet is actually overlaying over the DFS. So if we do star ROMs, it still shows it, but we're in the view mode. That's quite strange. So I'll do star ADE. Oh, okay. Right, so the ADE is the disk environment. And star help is all the things that can be run. So view store. So can we do star monitor? No. Star mon? No. So what I'm looking at here is a website, star.org.uk, which is the BBC Micro source of information. So people are saying that they've got sideways ROMs, and there says SRAM, DFS, view sheet, edit, advanced DFS, and view. So they're saying you can do star edit. So we don't have that, do we? Star edit. We do. We have an editor. Wow. No idea what that does. Okay, well, there we go. So I would imagine at one time there would have been instructions for all these. And maybe I need to do, just looking at this, maybe I need to download some manuals for all these ROMs that are in the system and get them printed out, and then I can actually use them. But it appears to be that this is actually working quite well. Oh, there's a nice website there which shows everything as the motherboard should be, and then all the sideways ROMs. Right, fine. So, oh, somebody's recapped it. I'm assuming this has been recapped already because there's no magic smoke, and that feels quite toasty warm, which I'm sure is right for the running of it. It's been a while since I've run this, actually, to be fair. But there we go. So I'm thinking BBC Model B, 32k of RAM, Watford Electronics 12 ROM board with various bits of software. So yes, I definitely think now I need to turn this off, fire up my big PC and try and find some documentation for this device. So that was really just a brief overview of my BBC Micro with a 12 ROM Watford Electronics ROM board. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, click the bell icon so that you get notifications when I upload more videos, leave me a comment, and come back for part 2 of this video, where hopefully I will get some instructions on how to use all these ROMs, and that will make it more interesting. But for the moment, that's my BBC Micro. It's been in the garage for a while in dry storage, and it just works. And I should really plug the joysticks in and try the games. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed it. Good night.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.